MMA bout. Another Starkey Martial Arts representative. So you've already had 2 from that gym. They're about 100% so far for competitors, so it's great to see. And we've got quite a few more of them coming later on. So again, massive shout out to Kieran.
This one is a white collar MMA match.
Yes, it's white collar MMA. 16, I think they're 16 and 17, so they're juniors. So I think that'll be no knees to the head. Similar rule set to what you saw in the previous fight.
We'll see if these guys will bring the pace like the first fight did.
Yeah, they look a little bit bigger. So might not be able to keep up the same frantic pace. The shots that do land might be a little bit harder. That is something that you do find in the lighter weight classes. They do seem to throw more strikes because each individual strike probably has a little bit less pop on it. So it'll be interesting to see how this fight may be different to the previous one. But one thing to keep in mind as well is almost all of these guys in the gym will be training in like sort of full MMA rules. So they will have styles that will be quite translatable to sort of the more adult rule sets as they train more.
So making his way into the cage now is Seth Davies from Wolves BJJ. One thing I will say, Jack, is both of these guys look ready. They do not look like the day is getting to them. They look focused, they look ready to fight.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I would imagine that both competitors have had a few fights before. They seem very, very composed. Now, one thing to keep in mind with all of Kieran's fighters is that they will be very well-trained grapplers. Kieran himself holds a black belt in 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. So he's a very, very accomplished grappler in the competitive scene as well. So his fighters will have a very good ground game. And I think that their striking will probably still be their A game. But it wouldn't surprise me if they're looking to take the fight to the ground, which would be interesting to see, especially as a nice contrast from the previous fight.
And here we go. Oh, wow. That was a great shot to start the fight. Wow.
Yeah, really great shot. Clarke doing a good job to recover with the takedown and get back on top. Clearly a testament to his grappling skills.
Yeah, he's done very well to recover there. He's landed very flush.
Yeah, straight away he came out with that high guard with the wide hands, but that does leave you open to the shot straight down the middle. But he's done a good job to recover, maybe more of like a flash knockdown rather than something that really wobbled him, because he instinctively did a very, very good job recovering.
You have seen that cut open up on his left cheek though, so that is definitely something to watch as this fight goes on.
Yeah, something to be mindful of. The refs and the doctors will keep an eye on that. As it's below the eye rather than above, less of a worry, but still can be a problem. But he's locking up this guillotine now. Looks quite tight, seeing a bit of redness on the face of his opponent. He's squeezing hard, looking to draw that elbow down.
There is a lot of time left in this round.
Yeah, you don't want to burn your arms out if it's not quite right. Very hard to lock up in MMA gloves as well.
Looked as though he went for that ninja choke then for a little bit, but didn't seem quite right.
Yeah, and he's landed a nice rear hand of his own, looking to pressure in.
Yeah, that was a very, very nice shot, but it did look there was a little collide of the heads there, and it looked like it opened another cut on the right cheek of Clarke this time.
Seth looking to pressure in to recover now.
Good knee to the body there by Seth.
Seth looking to collect both legs and he finishes the takedown, but Clarke has wrapped up that guillotine. He's got one arm, but he hasn't got the hands joined just yet. Only 10 seconds left in the round, so I don't know how worth it is to try and build back up to defeat. It might be better to go for the Hail Mary submission.
Now that was a very interesting round. Both guys wobbled each other. You had Clarke with a couple submission attempts. That was again, that's hard to call again, I would say.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, Eyes. I think that was a very back and forth round. I think both fighters were able to damage their opponent on the feet, which might lead to a more grappling focused performance from both of them in the next round. I think that first knockdown that Seth scored came on very early in the fight. Maybe Clarke wasn't ready, but as soon as the bell goes, you've got to be ready. So that's a knockdown. They both scored it. So, very difficult round to score. Close submission attempt, but not super close. But, he had it. His opponent had to react. So very, very difficult round to score.
As you said at the start of the fight, both of these guys are a little bit bigger than the first fight. So they've got that bit more power. So those shots are a bit stronger, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And smaller gloves as well do change things. A lot of support in here tonight for both fighters, which is nice to see, raising money for charity.
Good takedown there by Seth.
Yeah, he did a good job getting that off the kick catch. Yeah, Clarke needs to recover guard now. Now, side control is an interesting position because obviously in MMA you'd be looking to posture up and get a good posture for ground and pound. That's quite difficult from side control actually, because if you remove your chest and your opponent try and posture, you don't have a good pin on their hips. You've seen a lot more MMA fighters go to half guard or 3/4 mount and looking to posture up now. It's a good position for keeping your opponent pinned and controlled, but it's not one where it's easy for you to effectively damage. You can see that Seth has got the crossface in. He's looking to use the sort of shoulder pressure. To be honest, you're not going to get anybody good to tap with that, but he might look to get the underhook on the far side and work towards a head and arm choke. You can see that he's looking to try and get under the arm a little bit, but Clarke is doing a good job trying to work his inside knee inside. Right now looking for maybe an empty half to try and regain half guard, but it's a little bit difficult. Quite a difficult position to get out of, especially as Seth isn't looking to posture up. He's just looking to maintain the pin. Seth briefly stepping over into a leg drag-like position there, but goes back to side control.
It looks like Seth is trying to set up some sort of Ezekiel choke, but it looked like he kind of thought about it, maybe he's changed his mind.
Yeah, it's a very difficult submission to get in Nogi MMA, but even more difficult. In Nogi Jiu-Jitsu, but even more difficult to get in MMA with the gloves on. So it's one that you can sort of throw out there to threaten it, but mostly you're going to be using it to try and get an underhook to set up another submission instead.
Quite a strong round there for Seth. Got the takedown.
Yeah, he did a very good job keeping top control there and preventing any scrambles in the grappling, which we saw in the first round was a little bit more free-flowing. That was a very, very good round for him. He wasn't able to do much damage to his opponent, but he didn't want to sacrifice his control. So I think that would be fair to say that was a good tactic for winning the round. But it does mean that his opponent's going to come out with a bit more tenacity in the next round, knowing that he's definitely lost that one. So it'll be interesting to see how this final round develops.
I would say that Clarke looked quite tired as he got up then. Being underneath someone for probably about a minute and a half, probably that round, that's definitely going to take it out of you. So we'll see if that does affect him going into the third round.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, when that happens to you in the gym, you kind of just take that L for the round. You just, right, well, I'll wait to the next round. But when it's being scored in here, it's different. You want to use a lot of energy to get up, which is obviously tiring.
Let's see what round 3 brings. Starting strong with the leg kicks there, Clarke. Landing a nice few shots as well as Seth entered in.
Clarke looking to pressure in. Yeah, nice upper body throw, but Seth does a good job getting around to the back off it.
Well, let's see what he'll do here. Will he go for the takedown?
I think given his success in the previous round, he's got to be looking for a takedown. So Clarke needs to very quickly break the grip on the hands, which he's doing a good job doing. He's working towards it. He needs to sink his way into it a little bit more to break that grip, maybe threaten the Kimura. He's doing a good job. He's got the underhook on the near side to us, but with his arm over the head, a bit difficult. You can threaten the guillotine, but his opponent's got good posture. Might be better to try and swim it back in front. There we go, that's good.
Yeah, he's done well there to defend, to use the cage wall to stop Seth from getting to his back as well.
Yeah, and he's done a good job keeping that underhook to stop the shot there straight away, which is quite nice. Now, one thing I would say, because his posture's controlled, very difficult to land really explosive knees, and you're risking giving up your leg for a takedown.
Which is exactly what's happened there, and he's finished the takedown quite well. He's in this side control position that he was in the first round. Let's see if he does anything differently with it.
Yeah, bundled him over very, very nicely, and I think he doesn't seem to be in a rush to get the submission, which actually makes it really, really difficult to escape. Most of the time when you're in the bottom, your windows of escape are going to be when your opponent is being aggressive to pursue a submission. But I think given his success in the previous round, he might be happy to just ride it out. I've only got about 15 seconds left in the round. Yeah, it's a landing some pounding hammer fists to the body there, which is nice to see. Nice to see that activity.
It's a great fight, and for me it's a great performance by Seth. He's secured a couple of takedowns, and he's done really good control from there as well.
Yeah, and especially considering from his point of view, you know, you're going to get that adrenaline rush when you score the early knockdown and you think it could go your way. But he did a good job getting back onto it. Obviously faced some adversity as well, being on the receiving end of a knockdown. And he did a good job showing his conditioning and his professionalism as well. Like, you get a really big adrenaline dump, especially after that first round. And he's done a good job maintaining his conditioning and sticking to his game plan after that.
Lovely show of respect there as well from those guys. Let's see how the judges scored this one.
Yeah, great performance by both fighters. Good win for Seth, but Clarke was able to score that knockdown. I think that's a good sign. It's a sign that he showed that he's more than capable of being successful in the sport. And I think he's obviously early in his career, and he's got plenty more that he can do going forward. Plenty more fights ahead of him, plenty more that he's going to win, and he definitely showed that he belonged in there. You can see that he does a good job reversing that takedown there, but gives up his back a little bit. Just a few details, a few tweaks that he'll be able to make that will make him an even better fighter. There's nothing to be disappointed with. No need to hang his head in shame. Obviously, he's put a lot of prep into the fight. Didn't go